Happy New Year to all of our watchers and followers who celebrate Lunar New Year. Yes, folks, it is the year of the snake. And something that I think is really interesting is you will typically hear something like Gonji Fachai or Gon He Fachoi. Now, got to remember I mispronounced those, but hopefully you can get the picture of what I was trying to say. Those two phrases are not Happy New Year. They are actually, I hope you get rich. I think it is really, really funny and comical that the go-to phrase for celebrating Lunar New Year is, I hope you get rich. Yes, folks. Happy Year of the Snake, and I hope you get rich. There we go. So let's talk about what's going on today. Lots of stuff, as always. What do I want to hit first? Let's hit earnings first. We did get some earnings. We get a bunch of tech earnings after hours. We get Microsoft, Tesla, Meta, IBM. But let's talk about what we have right now. Starbucks beat on revenue and earnings. It was a slight beat on revenue, beat on earnings, but their China sales are still declining. And if you remember, man, when was that? 2 years ago, we started talking about Starbucks. It was the canary in the coal mine, if you will, to what was to come in Starbucks. One good news is their new CEO is coming in and taking a knife to their menu. They hope to cut their menu size down by about 30%, which will hopefully help with efficiencies, help on costs, and the like. SAP beat on top line, beat up bottom line, but planning a big investment in AI this year, so expect some capital expenditures. Lending Club beat on revenue, but missed on earnings and actually had very weak guidance. Did not look at Lending Club this morning, but I'm going to guess it's trending down. ADP beat top line, beat bottom line. CEO said our momentum continued into Q2. Progressive beat top line and bottom line. They are mainly an auto insurer, and they saw strong auto insurance growth. And finally, ASML beat top line, bottom line. They're a chip maker. Their feedback of China's deep seek model was good for us. Cheaper AI models brings AI to the masses. They actually doubled their booking estimate. So pretty strong bookings at ASML. Today is Fed Day. Again, we are going to expect no cut, but we're also going to expect a lot of fireworks from the Q&A. Are we going to get any hope of a March rate cut? Will they talk about inflation being sticky and frankly trending up? Will they talk tariffs? Will they talk deregulation? How about immigration? This Fed rate decision, and frankly, the Fed rate statement is going to be boring. But the Q&A, Jerome Powell in front of a microphone, has the potential to frankly get a little spicy, because I expect him to be asked probably the same question 5 different times, and Jerome will probably become irritated by the 3rd or 4th time. So we will get into that. We should congratulate some folks for joining school in the last 24, 36 hours. Justin, Charles, and Todd, thank you for joining school. Make sure you introduce yourself. Unlock those free goodies at level 2 and level 3, thousands of bucks in free education. So go get it. It does look like that more and more people that dig into Deep Sync, it is some of the things we were told were a flat out lie. Folks, China lied. Are you shocked? Anyone shocked? I'm not shocked. But apparently they did. They tried to say DeepSeek was running on a bunch of gaming chips. And after further review, they have somehow gotten H100s, the big bad NVIDIA chips. I know you're shocked. I know. No, we're not. We're not shocked. How about good old Mark Cuban? Mark Cuban was asked the other day if he took advantage of the market dip on Monday. And Mark let it go that he was 100% in cash. Cash. I'm just curious. That seems like an interesting call to be 100% in cash. Just seems to be interesting. When I mean, really? 100% in cash? Okay. It is Wednesday, so we did get mortgage data. Mortgage data for the week, obviously not great. Refi demand down 7% week on week, down, but it is up 5% year on year. Purchase demand down 0.4%, down 7% year on year. Total volume, if you put them together, demand down 2% week on week. The lone bright spot, FHA purchase apps were actually up 2% for the year. I got a question for you. If your boss came to you and said, here's an option, resign today, here's 8 months severance, or you could stay, what would you do? Apparently, this is a buyout that President Trump has offered roughly 2 million federal employees. Now, on the surface of this, it seems like a great way to save some money, right? You pay out the 8 months with this year's budget. You have a hiring freeze, so these people are not part of the problem next year. Makes logical sense. But here's the problem. At least maybe the government's different. You know, again, I never worked in the government, although I did sell to the government. I sold to the government a lot. Here's my impression of what's going on. So inside the 2 million employees, federal employees who got this offer or will get the offer today, there's a bell curve, right? There's the people that are the rock stars, and then there are the people that are frankly horrible at what they do. We obviously are in an economy that is pretty shaky, right? I think that's a fair opinion. So who do you think is more likely to quit and take 8 months of pay? Do you think it's the A-plus players who probably get recruited every day, certainly every week and every month? Or do you think it's the dead, dry rot 20-year vets who don't do anything except hide? Who do you think's going to take the buyout? History says it's going to be the A-plus, the A, and probably some of the A-minus players, because they can go get a job in tech. They can go start their own company. They can do something. And you are not going to see any of the C players. All of the C players are going to slink back to the office, complain, whine, do nothing, all while they're still holding second jobs or trying to hold second jobs. So again, I think when you look at the raw numbers, this kind of offer makes sense because, again, it will, if the estimates are somewhere between 10 and 20% of the people. So let's say it's 2 million. So 20% is, 400,000 people. I didn't do the math, but let's do the math. I don't know. What do you think an average federal employee makes? I don't know. Let's say, God. So 400,000. What do you think an average employee makes? 80 grand? Honestly, I have no idea, but let's just say it's 80 grand. Well, that's a big number. That's 32 billion bucks. Did I do that right? Yep, 32 million. I don't know. Interesting. So again, let me know. You taking 8 months of pay, or are you staying? I think that's what's coming. It should be noted that the military, United Postal Service, and several other departments, I guess, are not impacted. But yes, there we go. NerdWallet's been doing a survey since 2019 asking people, do you plan to buy a home this year? And apparently it's the highest reading since 2019 at 15%. 15% of Americans plan to buy a home this year. Again, sometimes these numbers don't make sense to me because we have 320 million people in the U.S.? Is that about right? 320 million? Am I doing that right? Yeah, 300 times 0.15. That means there's going to be 48 million home purchases. That's not happening. That's crazy. Can that even be right? I guess it is. Yeah. So again, I do not see that, but it is interesting again because we've been talking about the consumer being predictable, right? 7% bad, 6% good. We've also had many conversations with home buyers starting to get antsy and just give up and go, I'm tired of bunk beds. I'm tired of living with family, tired of that, tired of this. This will eventually break. My prediction is it breaks in 2026, but hey, maybe it breaks early. Maybe it goes down in 2025. We did have an accountability group yesterday. Again, folks, if you're not a part of school, you're not taking advantage of the accountability groups, I don't have anything for you. These are always awesome. There are 6 different groups that go off every week. This one I heard talked about taxes, build to rent, cost segregation, the ORAT Vegas trip, a pitch deck to partners. Join the group, join the community, join your favorite group that works for your time, and let's get after it. I did see a question above from someone I thought I would take an answer to. Angel, you hear all the time, man. I appreciate your support. I'll read the question just so you can't see it. With the administration downsizing federal workforce and laying people off, would it be possible to cut enough workforce and jobs for Jerome Powell to consider an early rate cut? The answer to that is probably not. Because again, you've got to remember the people that are being laid off are going to be handed big fat checks. And those checks, given consumer behavior, will be spent into the economy. So the answer is no. No, big severance checks, even if it's 400,000 people, 400,000 people get big severance checks. Most of them won't even file unemployment claims. So the answer is likely not. But again, I could be wrong. So there's a question about tickets. Yes, I am closing the physical tickets to Vegas on Friday. We do only have 30 tickets left. We're down to 30 tickets. If you're coming to Vegas, you have until Friday to buy your tickets. But Joe, no, the virtual tickets will stay open. The virtual tickets will stay open until the day of the event because, frankly, those don't take any work or effort on my part. So, no, those will be fine. I do want to highlight for those of you enjoying my health journey. Remember, last year my challenge was to run a marathon, which we successfully did. Thank you for being a part of that. This year I'm trying to get healthy. And this morning, good news, actually 2 days in a row. I always wait for 2 days back to back. I have now lost 15 pounds. I've lost 15 pounds in about 6 weeks. I started this health journey a little early, right around December 15th. And I'm down 15 pounds in 45 days, something like that. So, yeah. So if you're following along, doing walking, whatnot, there you go. Thank you for being a part of it. Lastly, let's talk about what is expected on Friday. Friday's a big day. We get PCE, the third and final inflation reading. It is expected that core will be up 0.18, which will push which will hold the 12 months steady at 2.8. It was 2.8 last month. It is expected that headline, watch out, folks, headline is going to come in at 0.27, pushing headline inflation up to 2.6 from 2.4. So again, just like, what was it? CPI that went up. PCE is expected to go up as well. Lastly, let's congratulate some people for doing the work. Let's do Gabe first. Gabe's rocking and rolling with 3 black cards. Again, he got 3 deals done. Gabe, congratulations. Your cards will go out in the mail. And then Jason got his next deal, and your card will be going out in the mail. Folks, if you close a deal, I want to hear about it. If it's your next deal, just tell me and you get a black card. If it's your first deal, you get a golden ticket. Again, this is just something I do for fun, something I like to do. Give you all shout outs. Again, Gabe and Jason, thanks for holding it down. Thanks for doing the work. Again, remember, folks, 2025 is going to be a terrible real estate market. except for home builders that build small homes and investors just like you, because we do the work. We have a buy box. We write creative offers. We know what the 50-40-10 is. We know how to follow up. We only write great deals with current cost of capital. We do not do nonsense like date the rate, buy the house craziness. We only do deals that make sense today. So, folks, have fun. Let's see if there's any other questions in here. Oh, anybody worried about Section 8 payments? So I sent a note out to my team asking about those. My short answer to this is don't worry about it for 1 millisecond. There were, what did they call them? There was a time the government shut down. I don't know when that was, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever it was. And Section 8 still got paid. I know there's people out there probably trying to spin a story that Section 8 is going to stop paying or something like that. Not going to happen. I would not lose 1 minute's sleep. But that said, given the number of people that hit me up this morning, I did send a note out to my team in Fresno and ask. But in the short term, I wouldn't worry about it. I've been through government shutdowns. I've been through California issues. The money shows up. Nobody wants us to start evictions on Section 8 tenants. If the rent doesn't come in, you can start evictions. And there is nobody in the government that wants millions of people in evictions. So I would not worry about that for 1 minute. Not even 1 second. But that said, we'll see. Any other comments or questions that look like fun? No, I think we're good. All right, folks, do me a favor again. I want you to get rich. That is the saying for Lunar New Year. Again, go and see Fachai. Hopefully I'm close. Buy your tickets to the Vegas event. Love to see you in person. Tickets will stop being sold Friday. And have a wonderful day. Remember, smile, like, subscribe, comment. Later.